Yeah, I got to travel with our chief scientist, soon to be principal deputy commissioner, Dr. Namanje Bumpus, to our facility in New York, where we have a fabulous laboratory and field staff there. And Dr. Bumpus and I spent a good part of the day with the leadership of the laboratory there and doing some touring together. We then split up. I spent more of my time in the food labs, and Dr. Bumpus spent more of her time in the medical products labs. But we also had an opportunity to do an all-hands meeting with the staff there, and it was like the town hall meeting we had at White Oak. Full house, at least 100 staff were there talking to us about their experiences. The soon-to-be reorganization was top of mind for many staff. So it was a great opportunity to work with one of our really impressive scientific management leaders at FDA, Dr. Bumpus. This week I was in New York City in Queens at our laboratory and field office. The laboratory in New York has some capabilities that are very unusual, not only at FDA, but really in laboratories anywhere in the United States. In particular, there's a BSL level 3, which means that it has the capability to handle some of the most dangerous substances really known to humankind. It's for compounds that can be deadly with a very, very low exposure, so they have to be handled with the utmost of care. There are very few labs in this country that have that capability, and it's really important for us as a country, not just FDA, but as a country, to have facilities that can detect whether or not a product, and for us it's food, has been contaminated with something as deadly as anthrax or ricin, and there are a number of other microbes that reach that level of danger. You know, as I've noted on some of my earlier visits to laboratories, I've been incredibly impressed with the degree to which the work that our scientists are doing in our laboratories is so intimately related to what programmatically we're trying to do. I had an opportunity in New York to talk to our scientists who were testing infant formula, which, as you all know, is of critical importance to the FDA and to the Human Foods Program. Our laboratories are working with our program to solve some of the really important food safety challenges we have. Is very gratifying. And lastly, I'll say that it just happened to be the day after some of our scientists at FDA were being recognized with the Scientific Achievement Award by the Reagan-Udall Foundation for their seminal work on Genome Tracker. And the next day, I'm in our lab in New York talking to one of our lab scientists about how she's using the whole genome sequencing that came out of that project to help us more quickly identify the source of an outbreak. And so I thought that was sort of somewhat poetic the day after we were being recognized for this great scientific achievement, to see how it's being now operationalized and it's become part of our everyday business in our laboratories. I had an opportunity to join our import staff in the Office of Regulatory Affairs at one of the largest international mail facilities in the United States. When you think about imports, you think about products coming over the border in a ship, in a truck, in large volumes, being imported into the United States. It goes to one of the import mail facilities in this country. And so we have a staff there from ORA who is looking at mail coming into the U.S. And probably the biggest category within the food space that is affected by this are dietary supplements. And so our staff is checking to see those products are legal in the United States. They actually will also do testing for some of these dietary supplements to make sure that they are legal. With our colleagues in Customs and Border Protection in the mail facility, which is right outside of JFK, literally adjacent to JFK International Airport, we are building with them a laboratory on site so that when we find a product that we think it's important to test to determine whether it's violative or not, we will be able to do that right there in the mail facility. All of the work that we do in the Human Foods Program is so interconnected and requires the active engagement of staff across the agency and literally across the country. Without the investigators finding the issues, working to understand what is happening related to a food safety issue, we don't get anywhere. Without the laboratories being able to confirm what the investigators suspect, again, we're unable to do our jobs. Without the people at headquarters, the subject matter experts, those who are well equipped to understand what the law and the policies are, it's hard to ultimately execute on an effective intervention. And so again, it brings home the interconnectedness of everybody across the human foods program to ensure a safe food supply in the United States.